Yeah. Okay, it's episode 7 of It's episode 7 of Beyond the Skybox, and I am your host, and Skybox editor at large, and big believer in Podily autonomy, Brian Barnett.
Jesus, we got there, man. It's me. It's MGE, managing editor Lucas White.
And I'm contributing writer Kris Cornelise.
Hello.
Bringing lots and lots and lots of prequel memes, apparently.
Yes. We got some stuff to talk about this week. I would say a lot. We probably do have a lot, but it's just, man, the vibes coming in here are just rancid, parentheses, complimentary. Yeah.
There you go.
You warned us about the Podily autonomy one.
I did.
Yeah. And
you still weren't ready for it.
Well done. I wasn't ready for it.
But that's okay. I got to keep these guys on their toes. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. That's part of my job. You know, editor at large means I can sneak up on you at any time.
Even though you're quite large.
Still at large. Yes, that's true.
Still sneaky.
That's true.
I don't normally drink during these like you freaks, but I had a little bit of peach soju left.
Okay.
And I poured it into this mug I found that I forgot I have. It's a Gauru Mark of the Wolves mug.
Wow.
Oh, sweet.
It's like a third the size of a normal mug. It's got Kim Dong-hwan and Kim Jae-hoon on it. And then it's got like a synopsis for the game that's incredibly overwritten.
What?
But also really tiny text.
Okay,
it's crazy.
hold on,
I was trying to read it earlier.
I'm going to say that mug is so small, it makes you look like a giant, which is great. Aided and abetted by the small figure on the cardboard box next to your thing. But I'm going to need you to read that description or that synopsis of the game.
I'll read at least the first sentence because there's quite a lot that you can see.
Okay.
That's quite a lot.
Okay. Once there was a city wherein force ruled. The weak quaked in fear, tyrannized by the strong. Myriad fighters converged in this sin pit called Southtown.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Well, that's just the first sentence.
Incredible. That deserves its own award. All right, so what are we going to talk about this week? We're going to talk about a couple of things. Yeah, I had a beer just before this. So if I feel terrible, then it will mean that my experiment has failed.
Oh no.
And
I just woke up before this, so I haven't had time for anything.
Yeah.
Beer before the show instead of during.
Yeah. But anyways, oh, nice. We've got some stuff to talk about this week. Let's jump in with a Patreon question.
Ooh, right off the bat.
Right off the bat, because last time we didn't do a Patreon question until the very, very, very end of like a 2.5 to 3 hour podcast. And so I want to hit it from the beginning. So we have one, and I feel like there are some that are like very beefy that I'm actually going to give you guys a heads up on next time. So that we can actually do some digging, because some of these are a little bit more involved than the others. But this one that we just got today doesn't require more. Oh, actually, you know what? No. I'm not going to do the first one that I like. The oldest question we still have requires a little bit of digging.
Research.
The second one does not. So we're, instead of going with the one from today, I might do that one later in the show. Because the third question is also one that requires like a bit of it's going to be a longer topic. But Austin Souther asks, what did you do with the baby penguin in Super Mario 64?
I delivered him for a star.
Okay.
Obviously.
All right. Lucas.
That's all I did. That is definitely the only thing that was ever done.
Lucas, are you gonna be honest, or are you gonna protect your reputation as Kris?
Or are you going to lie outrageously like I just did?
I'll be honest. I mean, gosh, I must have played that game several times, so I've definitely thrown that little guy off the edge of the mountain at least once, if not more than once, just to see what happened. In fact, I bet I jumped out there with him too, at least one of those occasions, also just to see what would happen.
If I
I
recall,
think it's one of the wonderful things about Mario 64 is it's very, very pro-intrusive thought, I think.
Very pro-intrusive thought.
Yeah, I love games where you can let the demons out in one way or another, you know?
And be rewarded for it sometimes.
Yeah.
Or at least not punished too harshly.
Yes. Yeah. And
I think the easiest way to do it is just to like pick it up and then just jump off the edge and fall all the way down, eat the damage, and then just deliver it right there anyway, rather than do the whole slide. So
yeah,
the
so you're at least encouraged. Oh, it is, but at least once I'm fairly sure I would have just gone, I wonder if I can do this, and then the logical thing is, I wonder if I can do this, and then see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely kicked that motherfucker all the way into the stratosphere.
I don't know if I tried to attack the penguin, but that might be a little too far.
I didn't attack the penguin, but I definitely was just like, yeet.
He's definitely been yeeted like a gun in the hand of John Wick. But anyways,
there you go.
Austin, thanks for the question. It's a good one. All right, let's jump into some stuff. Lucas, how many things do you have that you want to talk about tonight?
I think just two, unless something else comes up.
Then, and Kris, how many things did you have?
Just the one, really.
Okay. So let's go with Lucas, whatever you want to lead off with.
Sure. So I played a game with an annoyingly long title. I think I brought up on the show before.
On brand.
Yeah. So we're going to look that up real quick just to make sure I get it right. Okay. It's called MADO Monogatari, Fia and the Wondrous Academy. Developed by Compile Heart, published by Idea Factory. And Sting, actually. Sting co-developed it, which I was pretty excited to see.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, Sting's like the lead singer of the Police.
That's it. That's the guy.
The pro wrestler, actually.
The guy known for having tantric sex. That's crazy.
He descended from the rafters with his baseball bat, and he had a cute little video game in his hands too.
Nice.
Yeah, Sting is a weird developer. You don't hear about that often, but they've made some good stuff in the past. Like Izuna, Legend of the Unemployed Ninja, which is one of my favorite DS games. So I feel like I brought this up because I feel like at one point I told you guys that Puyo Puyo, the puzzle game series, is actually a spinoff.
You did mention
we have talked about this, yeah.
Yeah. So one of those finally got localized. It's not the first time because
I see the little critters on the
they're just on the cover art.
That's wild.
So this series has been around forever. And it came out, I think, on the MSX first, and it's like a first-person dungeon crawling RPG.
Of course it is.
But this one is not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the original was weird because it didn't show you numbers. So it was like you kind of had to figure out like your health and the enemy's health kind of based on vibes and how they would like react to being hit and stuff.
Ooh, I actually really like that. There's not a lot of like visual, like non-gauge visual indications of health in games. I always love when they're done.
Yeah. And it was always really silly. Like you'd hit a Puyo with a fire spell, and it would say something absurd, and then like, oh, okay, it's about to die.
Oh no, my family!
Yeah.
What will happen to my children?
And you'd run into like characters in random corners of the dungeon, and it would just be like slapstick kind of comedy scenarios. So it's very, very silly series. Before Compile became Compile Heart and got a little weirder. These are very like family friendly games. But anyway, so these don't get localized ever because they're on like the MSX and then on like the Game Gear and stuff, and nobody actually bought RPGs for the Game Gear. I think there are only like 2 ever localized or something.
Which
like
really
that.
stinks because that would have been a great place to play them. Although the battery life was like not great.
Say if you had a massive pile of batteries to burn through. So the series eventually does get localized on the PSP as Sorcery Saga. But they change it to like a mystery dungeon kind of thing and take all the Puyo stuff out of it. So it's kind of just there on its own, not really connected to anything. But then this game comes out many years later and it's finally like, no, the Puyos are back. And we are here to stake our claim to the Puyos, I guess, or something.
The people have spoken. They've demanded the return of the Puyos.
Why are there Puyos on here? Yeah. So it's more of like a fun fact kind of thing than anything else. Because they're basically like the Goombas are the slimes of this world, and they're not really drawn attention to otherwise. They're just kind of there. Although in this game, they do send you a politely worded letter asking you to stop massacring them. They're just like, please stop killing us every time you go in the dungeon.
We would very much appreciate it if you didn't do that.
If you stop, do they do anything?
No, but it's funny because they attach a gift to it, and it's mysterious slime. So I think they're kind of like trying to, paper bag with dog poop in it kind of thing to you, to get revenge. That's how I interpret mysterious slime, anyways.
Just I'd be like, I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I love an Arrested Development reference. My idea is like, okay, here, I'll scrape some off the side of my face and I'll send it to you in a bag if that means you'll stop murdering us. Like, it's better to lose a limb than to lose your life. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
But so this game's kind of interesting in that it sort of is also a mystery dungeon game. At least it kind of looks like one, but combat's all in real time. It's usually a mystery dungeon. Everything's turn-based. It's like you take a step and then the world around you takes its turn. And encounters and stuff are kind of based on that. This one, it's like you go into a battle scene and you can move around and enemies can move around and all your skills, there's like an ATB meter kind of thing. And when it's your turn, you can use a skill, and that skill has like an AoE to it. So you kind of have to like choose your target, choose your skill, and then get in within range of the AoE to actually like hit it. Or you can like swing your sword at any time, but it's like slow and it's only got like 1 square of range. And then when you cast a spell, it does like a Chrono Cross kind of thing where it like stores that element in like a little space, and you can spend it to do like a big cinematic special attack thingy, so just like more damage to everyone. So it's like interesting, but it's like very simple and easy, and it's kind of got cozy game stuff going on where it's like, oh, you can go fishing, or you can plant crops, or you can like fertilize this tree with stuff, which is also just the same as planting the crops, but you get different stuff from it. And the writing is very cutesy and silly and slapstick, and so it's very much just like, here's a cute little RPG game for children, made by a company that isn't known for making games for children anymore. Kris shaking his head violently.
I'm aware.
In fact, you can read Skybox critics.com right now for a story about another Compile Heart game, which is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Is that part of our special week?
It sure is. we can talk about that later if we want to. But yeah, there isn't a whole lot to say about this game otherwise, but it's like kind of neat that it's here, and it's like lots of people know what Puyo is, especially now that like Puyo Tetris has kind of had a couple entries and that's been popular. So it's like it's neat that it's there. It's like here's a walking trivia question that you can check out and play and have an okay time with, I guess, if you want to.
Gaming history.
Yeah, it's not particularly exciting otherwise. I don't know. I think I give it an 8 on Shark News.
Yeah, you play it and you sit there and question, how the hell did we get to Puyo Puyo Tetris from this?
Exactly. But it is legitimately funny. Like when I say it's slapstick and stuff, they actually like tell real jokes and they're funny, which is why I kind of was a little higher on it than I kind of expected to be. But
fair.
Yeah, that's that game.
Nice.
If you're interested, if you like Puyo and you want to kind of see where Puyo came from, this is a good starting point.
Very nice, very nice. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take the wheel at this point and talk about a little game that I've been playing for a while, and I just finished while I was on my trip. Oh, yeah, I didn't even mention the elephant in the room, which is that I was not here last week, and there was no episode of Beyond last week because Will and Lucas ended up streaming a couple of beat-em-ups. I believe you just did Punisher and Streets of Rage 4?
Yeah, we played through all of the Punisher, and we played through a pretty good chunk of Streets of Rage 4.
Very nice, very nice. Two beat 'em ups, one of which is in my running for the best beat 'em up of all time, and one that is definitely a beat 'em up.
It is one of the beat 'em ups.
One of the best beat 'em ups of all time. The other one of the beat 'em ups of all time. Yeah, but yeah, and Lucas and I played through Punisher when the Capcom collection came out. It was really fun. It's a very silly game. It's so not silly. It's not like really exceptional. It's super bullshit. Like when you end up fighting those bulky guys towards the end of the game, and then the final boss fight is just like Jesus Christ. But yeah. But anyways, yeah. Shout outs to you guys for doing that. That was awesome. I was out of town because of a family emergency, and I'll just be open with everybody because, you know, you're our listeners and I want you to be involved in my life because I love you all and I appreciate your support. My grandfather had a procedure where they were emptying his lungs of fluid. It's the second time or third time that it's been done. The first time he, I think, went like a year or something after it. And then the next one was like 6 months and then like 2 months. And this one was like 1 month after the last one. And he just kind of decided, I don't want them to do this to me anymore. And so was going into hospice, which is crazy because he takes care of my grandma. So like he went from being my most able-bodied and capable grandparent. He's like 91. So, you know, still running around, still doing all this sort of stuff, still driving all this sort of stuff. And he just had a really bad like reaction to something during the procedure and was just in a terrible state. And pretty much everyone in my family thought he was going to die. And so my wife got me a flight up there like immediately because I love him. I deeply love him. I was born on his 50th birthday. And my sister missed my grandma's birthday by 10 minutes. My mom says that she tried as hard as she could to get in good with the in-laws. Nice. But we spent a lot of time together. I love him dearly. The people who were taking care of him, like the nurses, have said we've taken care of many people in our years. Jim Barnett is the sweetest man that we've ever taken care of. And so you can imagine how upset all of us were when he started doing badly.
Yeah.
And I got there and it was not good. My sister and I went in, we hung out with him for a while. He was very clearly super weak. He'd lost a ton of weight. He was just rail thin. And couldn't really even lift himself up from his chair, was breathing like with like nose tubes and stuff. And, you know, very labored breathing, obviously very weak coughing, stuff like that. And my sister and I left. And as we closed the door, she was holding her 7-year-old daughter's hand, and we were walking down the hallway, and she just burst into tears because she was only able to come for like one day. And she's like, that might be the last time I ever see him. And so luckily my cousin, Andrew, who Kris knows, cause we play Rivals together. He lives literally right across the street from the retirement community where they moved to. Like I could literally walk. And so I stayed with him for a little bit, and I went over to see them, I think every day except for one where I was expecting to get a ride from someplace like 30 minutes away, and they just didn't end up coming to get me in time. But every day he was getting better. And nice. The last day before I left, I took videos and I sent it to my family, and my sister said, thank God he sounds like himself again. It went from, you know, he had to be helped to the bathroom to we walked him to the door, went outside the door, and then he came back in. The day after that, when I wasn't able to go, he was able to walk like 20 feet down the hall. So like, you know, he told me, he's like, the last day that I was there, he's like, I thought I was gone. I thought I was going to die. But if I'm not going to die, I might as well go for a walk.
Hell yeah.
So like, everybody who knew was super nice. You know, thanks to everybody in the Skybox Discord for celebrating with me when I was able to say that he was getting better. That's why I've been gone. And I appreciate your patience on Skybox episode 6 and into and all that sort of stuff. I'm working on that stuff again now. In better spirits than I was when I left.
Oh, so. Yeah. What an all-timer of like a cool old man line too. My goodness.
Yeah, that's up there.
What?
I thought I was gonna die, but since I'm not, yeah.
Yeah. My grandpa's a badass. So, Kris, when you and I talked on Into the Skybox, when I said, I believe I told you my grandfather is the god of poker. This is that guy.
Got it.
Jim Bar, we would stay up until 2 a.m. or whatever, whole family playing poker. Like he is that guy. He's running the table, you know?
Oh yeah.
So, love to see it.
Yeah. So I'm very pleased. You know, I've heard a lot of people say, and I agree that I'm very lucky to be somebody who is in their 40s, who still has 3 out of 4 grandparents still living. I do not take that for granted. It still would have bummed me out, and I would have said too soon if he had gone. So I'm glad that he gets more time because he's just the best. But
hell yeah.
Anyways, love
to see it.
Shifting from that into the hardest left turn in the history of left turns, a game about the most horrific things that you could ever even perceive happening.
Oh no.
I beat Lookout.
Hang on. There's something outside my window.
No, don't look out.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. So, let's see. 24. I got to make sure I keep all these time codes so I don't have to like do all this stuff. And I got some, hold on. I hear the stream updates. Oh no. It's Will in the chat. Hey, Will. Will said, damn, I was hoping to come into something funny and it's just Brian airing his trauma. Yeah.
Thought you had work to do.
Yeah, Will. I thought you weren't here because you had work to do. Get out of here. He says, damn, we're going to talk about Persona, the most horrific game. It invented jazz, you know. Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about that. We are going to talk about Look Outside, which is a game that I beat while I was on this trip. Staying up into the wee hours of the night in my aunt's living room, just sitting on the couch, reclining. playing Look Outside, being a shut-in with all the horrific shit going on at that game. And let me tell you, what was it, last year on the platformers, I gave Scald like my top Lovecraft marks. Look Outside goes right up there with that. This is one of the best Lovecraft games I've played. It really leans into, it also feels like a different niche. So there is a game that I will not mention, even though everybody here knows what I'm talking about, that isn't obviously about Lovecraft stuff initially. That's a very excellent game. Then there's Scald Against the Black Priory, which is, you don't necessarily know, it's dark fantasy. You don't necessarily know that it's Eldritch fantasy, but I feel like they kind of like do that.
I feel like it starts
early.
nudging itself in very early.
Yeah.
Like I haven't played a lot of it, but I was already starting to see signs of it.
Yeah. And then by the end, it's just like full on. And then,
I mean, like one of the first areas is a telescope you can look into, and that's a bad idea.
Yes. Yes. But yes, Look Outside is explicitly Lovecraft inspired. And if there was any kind of gilding the lily, it disappears almost instantaneously. And it goes to some really wild places. And the thing that I really like about Look Outside that Scald doesn't do is it embraces humor as part of it. Like there's a lot of like weirdly funny stuff that happens and just straight up like comedic bits that happen.
Yeah.
Most of it is played for horror because it's horrific. Like the stuff with the painter, the stuff with the family like next door on your floor with the baby.
Man, that's never like, that's in my brain forever.
I can see that image.
Yeah.
Of it coming through the dark.
I saw you just visibly shudder. So yeah, like
yeah. But then there's like then there's stuff like when you get down to the first floor, like when you're hanging out in like the cafeteria area or whatever, where it's like there's just some straight up comedic stuff, like the guy collecting cassette tapes. You know what I mean? Like that's just real weird and funny and stupid. You know.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that about it. I also appreciate the way that Look Outside examines the setting from multiple angles. Like you can look at it as like somebody who's completely unaware that anything is going on. And then there's other people who are like very interested in what's going on explicitly and trying to figure out a way to get around the limitations that it imposes upon observers. And then there's like everything in between. Yeah. There's like people who have accidentally seen what happened. There are people who have intentionally gone out of their way to do it and then just lose it. There are people who look at it and then are fine. There are people who don't look at it, but kind of like see something else and then are super not fine. Like I really like that it explores all different kinds of avenues that one could have. And it's almost like an anthology game in a way because of the way that the different people in different apartments have done different things and different things have happened and they've taken different like safety precautions to guard against what's going on. It's really interesting. And I think it's just a very creatively done RPG with some interesting mechanics. Like, there's one character where all of their special abilities consume a special item that they have to create to do that. Then there's like another, I haven't seen like a hide and do something mechanic since like what? FF6? FF4? What was the one where and that wasn't even really that. No, it was what was it, Edward from FF6? Like the tech guy, he could like hide. Or no, it was the Spoony Bard who hid? From 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen like a straight up hide mechanic where you can do something from there. I don't know ever. There's also certain party members that can only join together. There's so many. By the end of the game, I had so many people that I could have on my team.
Yeah.
And looking up, wikis and stuff afterwards, there were several that I missed. I love the way that it interacts with all of these different systems in ways that seem like plausible within this world.
Yeah. Tons and tons of little variables and different ways things can go.
Yeah. Like the
I respect it.
Did you do, I don't know how much you did, Lucas. Did you do like the mushroom area in the basement?
I believe so. It's
okay.
My memory is
with
shut.
With the Mothman.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Mothman thing and then the mushroom area and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of weird, crazy stuff. There's like, references to other types of fiction, like a car that's trying to drive you to hell, like different stuff like that. But Will in the chat says there's a guy collecting what? There's a guy collecting cassette tapes. I know you're a tiny infant babe and you probably don't know what that is, but he's collecting cassette tapes. He's listening to a Walkman. And
there's one part I really enjoyed where you go apartment before things happened. They were like really into taxidermy or whatever.
Yes.
And so they basically like create this pocket dimension in their apartment that's like an entire dungeon made of sewn flesh. And it's like you like go through a door and it's just like expanded and everything is kind of tan and there's stitching everywhere and like you get a whole equipment set in there and it's just so weird.
Yeah, that was great. And also I love that like you can very clearly like I love when there's a thing in games where like there will be like a Chekhov's gun in the scene. It doesn't have to be a gun, but it's like something that's clearly like out of place and then it comes back later. And then there's the meta thing of knowing that your players are playing a game. They know it's a game, so they know the Chekhov's gun thing happens and you do it anyway and then you fuck with them because of it. Like specifically with that taxidermy thing. It's like, you know, when you're walking down the hallway and you see that thing, you're like, well, I know what's going to happen. And then it's just it's just fun when it's like, they're going to do the thing. They're going to do the thing that I know they're going to do. Edgar Allan Bro 7, which is Skybox editor-in-chief Will Berger says, I listened to Queen's The Game on cassette yesterday while moving stuff from the old apartment, so checkmate, Brian. That's fair. That's
so
fair.
Cool. So cool.
Queen is cool. Cassettes are cool. The game is cool. Checkmating people is cool. Moving into a house that you own now is cool. There's a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah, shout-outs to Will.
Shout-outs to Will, the boy. Yeah, so I've gotten, I think like 3 endings on Look Outside. I really want to go back and do the, I did the failed ending, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying the whole thing because I don't want to like cheat to what it could be. I got the failed ending and I really want to go get like the proper full ending, but I'm not sure I want to play through another 20 hours of this game to do it. So I might just look that up just because I've got some other interesting stuff that I want to check out. But yeah, Look Outside. Truly fantastic.
Excellent game.
Really a great game.
Yeah, it's on the list.
I haven't been able to get into a good headspace to play like a proper RPG in a while. Like I even bounced off of like Expedition 33 because I really wanted to like dig into it and I just wasn't quite in a space where I could like spend that much time on it. And I
do highly recommend that you go back to that at some point because I want to talk about it, damn it.
I'm going to soon. One of the problems that I had with it was the same problem I had with, what was the other game that I was playing? I think it was Dragon Age Dreadwolf, which is I was
now known as Valguard, yes.
Now known as Veilguard. I couldn't remember that name, so I just went with the, you know what I mean. But where like Expedition 33 looks substantially better when I'm streaming it to my Steam Deck from my desktop. And so because it's like so grainy on my Steam Deck just natively, I have kind of held off until I was home to play more of it. Now that I'm done with Look Outside and I'm done with a couple of other games that I'm going to talk about soon, I'm going to be returning to Expedition 33 very soon. It's just a matter of like if I'm going to do one game between now and then, or if I'm just going to go back to it now. Now that I've beaten like I think 2 other games that I can talk about, but yeah, Look Outside is really, really good. If you have not played it, you definitely should. Particularly if you're into Lovecraft stuff, because there are just not that many great Lovecraft games out.
Yeah. But another one is Skull Against the Black Priory.
Yes.
So check that out as well.
Which got top.
I'd also say Look Outside really is reminiscent of Junji Ito as well.
Yes.
And Ito himself is very Lovecrafty and inspired too, but I think also there's Ito has a very particular kind of like pseudo comedic body horror thing that he constantly likes to play with, and this game definitely does that. Yeah,
I definitely did a disservice not mentioning him earlier, because a lot of the stuff in the Lovecraft space is not necessarily like you'll be transformed, but mostly like you'll just go nuts and become murderous. Nice. Good job, Lucas. Incredible work. Top shelf material. But yeah.
Goofy.
Ito definitely is very, I mean, there are like explicit like references even through just some of the characters that you can get, that are like very clear, like Helen, very clearly inspired by, you know, Ito's work. And yeah, I need to mention them more, like both of them more in the space, because of how much Ito has done with the kind of ideas that Lovecraft introduced. Like, I feel like Junji Ito really is exceptional in taking those things and making very specific, horrific things with them. And there's like multiple Ito references, like the pipe that's going down to like the first floor or whatever.
The pipe. Oh my God.
You know, and then Helen, and then there's a lot. So yeah, if you're a fan of any of those things, like definitely check that out. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's all for Look Outside. Chris, what do you got?
Yes. So I got. First up, I will give a shout out to a certain Gabe Moss, who wrote the review for this game over at IGN, and so graciously reached out to me after a period of absence on Discord and said, "Hey, long time no see. Would you like a code for this so we can play it? Because I need to review it." And I'm just like, shit, yeah, all right. So that game in question is Killing Floor 3.
Nice.
So very, very understandable why you want people for that, because it's not a great game to play solo. It is very much one of those, you know, co-op horde shooter kind of multiplayer games. So yeah, you're Helldivers space and whatnot. So I've been playing a little bit of that. I didn't play enough of it to get my own review out for Skybox just yet, though I am possibly working on a piece for it. We'll see. But you can read his review, and you should, because he's a great writer, and I appreciate him dragging me into this. But yeah, we played that for a bit on and off for a few hours, and it is thoroughly okay. That's about it. Did either of you play any of the previous Killing Floors?
I did not.
No, but I do remember at least the first one being a pretty big deal when it came out.
Yeah, and it goes back a way. Like, it was quite old, I think. I don't know exactly when it came out, but it was like way ahead of, you know, a lot of the big multiplayer games of nowadays.
Yeah.
And then Killing Floor 2 was 2016, so it's been, you know, almost a decade since the last one. And that one I didn't play, but I played a little bit of the original. And I was playing Killing Floor 3. And I was enjoying my time with it for the most part. I'm just like, yep, cool, okay. But as I was playing it, I kept getting this nagging feeling. I'm just like, is this it? Is this it? Like,
oh no, that's what I was feeling playing Patapon.
Yeah, you just hit the point and you're like, oh, that's all there is. There's not more. Yeah. And again, I haven't given this my full due diligence in like exploring just the full extent of it yet. So again, work in progress. Watch this space, could be completely wrong, but I believe, you know, Gabe's review even said similar to that. But multiple people when we were playing was just like, so is this early access release or a full release? And we just had to double check. It's like, oh, it's a full release. Oh,
that's not
interesting.
Great.
And probably for the best, because it does, you know, have, you know, the usual season passes and such.
Yeah.
The progression economy works a lot like Helldivers War Bonds kind of does. So you get like, or even like a Marvel Rivals battle pass. So you unlock pages as you go. You spend a certain amount to get new pages and such, and then you work through, get cosmetics and upgrades and things. And yeah, it has all that. So it's just like, that would be a pretty bad look to be, you know, asking for extra money after, you know, if it's still in early access. So thankfully it is a full release, but it's still just like, I don't know. It felt like there wasn't quite enough in terms of mission variety, in terms of just what you can do yet. And obviously again, it's intended to be a live service. It's going to be, you know, they've already promised like 4 seasons or something like that. So more stuff coming in, more weapons, more classes, skills, etc., whatever. And it's got six classes right now, which all play very distinctly. Different kits, weapons, etc. 8 maps, all pretty well designed, pretty interesting. A lot of enemy types and such. It's a good fun kind of co-op horde shooter game, and we enjoyed it. Like, I don't think there was ever really a bad time with it. We liked certain classes and weapons and such more than others. Certain areas were completely bullshit, and some weren't. The bosses in particular really struggled. We really struggled to actually beat any of them. I think, you know, I never did. I know some of them in the group did in different runs. And that may just be, you know, we didn't have enough unlocks and such yet. We were still very early days. But the whole time I'm playing, and I'll probably, you know, if I write anything about it, it'll be this. It's just, I kept thinking back to the Cliff Bleszinski quote. This, you know, is probably the smartest thing he ever said of, there is only ever space for 1, maybe 2 things, games, titles, etc., in a specific genre space. And, you know, I'm sitting here doing this. I'm just like, but I could be playing Helldivers. I could be playing Darktide. I could be playing Deep Rock Galactic. I could be playing Warframe. I could even be playing Fortnite, something like that. And it's like, all of those, it's not a bad game at all. It just feels like it came out 10 years ago. Maybe it might have, you know, landed better. But nowadays, just more games have done more with the concept, and it just kind of feels like it's trailing behind a bit.
Yeah, I was going to ask if this was a situation where it pales in comparison to other things because of the kind of scant offerings, and like how much you would value something in the live service mold coming out and feeling incomplete because it hasn't yet been fleshed out with further seasons. Like, because I know that when I first played the original Destiny, it's like the 30-minute gameplay loop was good because it was Bungie and they were hot off, you know, the best Halo games that they had made. But
they do a good shoot bang, yes.
But like, as far as like stuff to do, it was very repetitive. There were not that many strikes. There were not that many levels. All the levels just kind of felt kind of samey. All the environments felt fairly samey. And it wasn't until like end of life Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 where it really felt like a substantive offering.
Yeah.
How do you feel? I mean, I would feel fair judging it on its like official release offerings, but also I don't do a lot of reviewing stuff in the live service space, so I'm not sure, having you compared to
it's
those
a tricky
other things,
prospect.
how do you feel about that?
Yeah, again, it is a tricky prospect when a game is released with intention to be a long tail. But I don't necessarily think we can... The problem is games like Concord were also intended to have that long tail, and, well, now you can't play Concord.
And Anthem.
Just an Anthem. That's... I know there's a whole bunch of people in various communities I'm in who are just like, it's being shut down for real. Everybody, let's get in on this. Let's, go achievement hunting or whatever. But that's cool. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like, again, it feels good. It plays good. It's pretty satisfying overall. I just don't feel like there's enough variety in it anymore. Like, it still feels like a kind of, a 2000s, 2010s, 7 console gen kind of multiplayer mode horde shooter on top of, other games and such. And this one is intended to be that. It's not just like a throwaway multiplayer mode as was styled at the time. But I don't know. I feel like it just needs something. It needs like more mission variety, more going on there. Because again, like I compare to and contrast to all the games I listed, and it's like they all have further mechanics that are going on, or more mission types and varieties in what you're doing, so the actual moment to moment changes a bit, or if nothing else, their presentation kicks so much ass that you definitely want to play more of it. Hello, Darktide. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a really tricky thing. Like, I don't think you're going to have a bad time with it. I just don't think I would recommend it over any of the games listed necessarily.
Yeah.
But if you grab some friends and go, we're just going to play this for a couple of weekends, you have a good time. And yeah, you could do a hell of a lot worse. And it might be better than I'm giving it credit for. Still in the process of it. But I believe Gabe at IGN gave it 7, and that's probably where I would put it as well. It's fine. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Good to know.
The whole time you've been talking kind of reminded me of when I was doing this over at Restart. It was like within a pretty short amount of time, it was like pre-orders are live for this game. Here's the pre-orders you can do and like the different editions, and here's the retailer bonus and stuff. And then like, I want to say less than 2 months later, it was like, oh crap, we got to delay it. And it wasn't like, oh, sorry everyone, we're gonna come out next month or two. It was like they were offering like refunds and stuff. And it seemed like, oh, this is like a delay. And then I was kind of surprised that it's out because that wasn't that long ago either. So it's a little worrisome, and maybe seemed like the fact that it almost feels not unfinished, but light. Feels related. Maybe there were some signs that things weren't going well.
Possibly
already. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that was just intentional, like launch package design versus like incidental happenstance. This is something that happened. We had to make some decisions, and it's coming out leaner because something wasn't ready or what have you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hard to say. Would have to be a fly on the wall for that, but
yeah.
What we got is fine.
Yeah.
It's good, even. It's just not anything to really write home about or take the place of, again, any of those. But it did make me want to go and play more Deep Rock Galactic, because I fucking love Deep Rock Galactic. So
Nice.
A victory for Deep Rock Galactic.
Indeed.
Yeah. And of course, lots of other stuff in that space that you can check out if you want. But Will in the chat says, RIP Anthem. It's me going back to Anthem, the best Iron Man game. I agree.
Yes.
I actually wrote IGN guides for Anthem. That game was a huge miss that could have been awesome. Like, playing that game, like, I definitely understood the vision. And man, it really could have been something special. And then it was just not.
And then I heard stories about people digging into how the numbers worked, and the conclusion was they don't.
Yeah.
just in terms of the statistics and everything in that game, it's a flagrant fucking lie in terms of how the gear and everything works.
It's an absolute mess. And you can imagine handling that stuff from a guides writer perspective.
Ugh.
Being like, wait a second, this gear.
Here is how you get all this gear. Don't equip it. Your starting gear is better.
Yeah. It's a mess. It's a mess. That's a real disappointment. That game could have been dope. But anyways, let's talk about something a little bit better. Lucas, do you want to go next or shall I go next? I got like it's kind of a smaller thing, but I don't know how we want to do it.
You go ahead.
All right. So I talked about this game previously on. God, this is blending together. Eventually, this won't be a problem. But I'm just like, did I talk about this on the platformers? Did I talk about this on Beyond or something like that? He is coming. I don't remember where I talked about this.
Was a platformers thing because I spoke about it with you.
Okay.
You mentioned playing the demo, and then I'm just like, that sounds neat. I'm going to download the demo. And then I sank way too many hours into the demo. I'm like, God damn it, Brian, why did you mention this to me?
Yes, okay.
But that was a platformers thing.
Yes, okay. So that was a platformers thing. So, debut on Beyond, He Is Coming is an early access game right now. It is so cool. It is an old school style. I guess it's kind of an auto battler, a la Loop Hero, or things like that. But you run around the map, you fight enemies. When it's nighttime, they will actually chase you, and your visibility is lower. During the daytime, the enemies remain stationary. You have to walk into them to initiate fights. After fights, you get money. The money you can use at various like shops that you can find around the way. But you are just moving tile by tile and ticking time down during the day and the night until you fight the boss. And you have very limited slots to equip different items. You will have different types of weapons that will have different effects. It's all about building something that kind of synergizes in order to help you manage your speed and your armor and your health and your attack, such that you can survive these bosses, which have various types of builds. So you'll have...
And you can look up what they are ahead of time. It'll show you, this is the boss for the night.
Yes.
Here is the stats. And so you can go, okay, this is this is probably the strat I need to go for. This is what I need to watch out for.
Yeah.
What do I find?
Yeah. So there are bosses that are like, have very low attack, but they'll have like barbs on them or whatever. So every time you attack them, you will take more damage. So you don't want to do a bunch of attacks against somebody like that. You want to do few attacks that do a lot of damage, or you want to have like healing, or you want to have like, oh, I'm going to add more armor to myself. The first area in the game, there are 3 areas in the total game of He Is Coming. The first area is in the demo, which is the forest area. In the early access version, if you beat the forest boss, which is the forest abomination, I think it's called, then you unlock access to the swamp. The swamp, and you'll fight 3 bosses, and then the third boss will be like the big area boss.
Yeah, and he has like a secondary transformation. Like, you beat him once, he's like, behold my true power, and then...
Yes. So the boss of the second area, the swamp area, is a Hydra. And so it has 4 different heads that each do different things. And you fight them one after another, like continuously. What that means is you carry over all of your stats from the one fight to the next. So if you've taken a lot of damage, you've taken a lot of damage. But if you have buffs that keep rolling over time and increasing, oh baby, it means that you can end up steamrolling like the last head or 2. And at the beginning of the fight, you choose one of those 4 heads and you can sever it. So if there's one that like would straight up counter you, you can just cut that one off. But doesn't make it easy.
That's really cool design.
But yeah, I beat that yesterday or today. And so then it announces you've reached the end of the early access period. The like Demon Kings area is going to be only available in the full release. So I still have to wait to see the final area, but the first two areas I've played a ton of. The second area, I want to give a huge shout out to this developer because it introduces a bunch of mechanics that are straight up not in the earlier area. Things like Riptide, things like regeneration is added, but they have something called purity that they've added. Just a bunch of like weird stuff. I don't remember if the first area had acid. There's poison.
Yes, it does.
So it has poison. And
no,
acid?
maybe I'm just thinking of poison.
Okay, so poison in the game.
I feel the field is acid, but yeah.
Okay, so acid like eats through your armor, whereas poison eats through your health. There's items that have both of them on them in this one. Then there's something called purity, where you have purity and you have a stack of it, and if it's ever removed, you heal 3 points and gain 1 attack. But if it's not removed, then it just stays there. So you can get items that stack on purity, and then you can get other items that like remove stacks of whatever you have on you. So you can use those together. That was actually the build that I used to beat the Hydra today, was like a big, I used like a purity removal, and there's like totally different like mechanics. Like there's different types of equipment that you can get. There's musical instruments, which have a mechanic called symphony, which is the musical instrument will play whenever certain conditions are met. So like exposed, which is the first time that all of your armor is removed, or wounded, which is the first time that you reach half health during a fight. But if the instrument says symphony, it will randomly trigger one of your other musical instruments, even if that thing hasn't been triggered. So like,
right,
if you have one ability that's like exposed and it does this thing, and then there's another one that's wounded and it does this thing, when you lose all your armor, it will trigger both of them instead of having to wait for that other one until you get to half health. So you can do that. You can also equip a bunch of different types of instruments and do that sort of a thing. There's also tomes, which work on cooldowns. So cooldowns, it'll just be like every turn, it'll count down by 1, and then it'll activate that thing. There's a bunch of different ones. There's one that's like every 4 turns gain 6 armor or whatever. But then there's other ones where it's like, okay, there's like, I think it's called the Grand Tome. Every 10 turns, finish the cooldowns on all your other tomes or whatever, something like that. Like it just gets ridiculous. Then there's special weapons.
So,
like there's a wand
buff
where
stacking.
You don't attack, but for every tome you have, it adds 1 to its attack, and that is the amount of damage your enemies take every turn, even though you're not attacking. So it's like you can do a bunch of weird stuff with this. There's also a bunch of different areas. There's like a ferryman who can take you to different types of areas where there are totally different themes of things. There's one area where you have to fight a bunch of tough soldiers, but every pickup on this part of the map is just a bunch of money. There's potions that you can pick up, like every 3 attacks, add 1 to your attack. And then you can go to somebody who's a potion maker and they'll just like super buff it. So like every 3 attacks, now it adds 1 attack and 1 armor and 1 speed, which can get out of control real fast in boss fights.
Oh yeah.
There's just so much cool shit going on in this game. And like Kris can attest, even in the base, like forest, like,
yeah, I haven't reached a swamp yet.
It's really fun, even just with the base thing. And then with the swamp, they just blow out the sides and are just like, what can we think of? So I can't wait to see if the third area does even more of that, because the interplay between all these items is like so fun. And it's a beautiful, bite-sized, just fun, like little, I guess it's not really a roguelite. I mean, it is.
It kind of is.
But it's not really.
Deck builder, roguelite, auto battle, like weird hybrid thing.
But it's more, it feels more like a classic, like dungeon crawler auto battler. It just has like these other kind of elements in it as far as like unlocks and stuff that are added to the pool of like equipment that you can get,
potential items and such.
Yeah, but it's not like I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm too close of it and I need to take a step back, but it doesn't have that same like feeling of a lot of other like roguelike games. So I don't know. I think people should check it out. Definitely check out the demo. See if you vibe with it. It's
and it's also quick and breezy. And if you're playing at high speed, you can like knock out a run in like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think
depending on how far you take it, it's pretty good.
I think that I've only played it like, I've only played it 4.5 or like 4 hours, just over 4 hours.
Yeah, I've only played a little over an hour on the actual release, but I played a bunch in the demo, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just super delightful. Yeah. Plays beautifully on Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
If you needed an excuse. Because you know I don't.
Can confirm, he doesn't.
Yep.
My goodness.
All right, Lucas.
Go. So, but before I get into my actual topic, while we were recording, Nintendo just shadow dropped Mario Paint on the
what
on the SNES app with Switch 2 mouse control support. They also put the soundtrack on their music app for all the the Mario Paint soundtrack enthusiasts.
That's
wild.
So goofy. I love how they do that just in the middle of the night, depending on where you are in the world. No warning, just here's the next.
Here's a thing, an old game of ours. Back on. I
keep wanting to say virtual console, but not anymore. But
they should just do the virtual console and make it permanent throughout all their consoles. But
you would think.
You would think. We should count ourselves lucky that they have learnt what the internet is in the year of 2025.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so speaking of Nintendo, I guess I've been playing the big game of the month, which is Donkey Kong Bananza.
Red Faction Gorilla. Exactly.
And this one's cool because Donkey Kong's always kind of been very sentimentally important to me. Donkey Kong Country was the first video game I ever owned. So really into those games. I thought it was really cool when Retro brought that series back, even though everyone else was upset about it at the time.
For some reason.
I don't know why. So for a long time after that, and kind of before then too, Donkey Kong has been kind of a weird place, despite him being kind of like the original Nintendo character. They just kind of were like, we don't know what to do with this guy, and Rare left, so we're just gonna throw darts at the wall and put him in weird puzzle games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing research for an article I was writing, and I had forgotten this fact, but they had done such a poor job making Donkey Kong cool that they removed him from the Mario Party for 4 straight games.
Yeah, they did.
Which is just crazy when you think about it. It's how do you fall so far down the food chain that they take you out of Mario Party?
Particularly considering that I'm pretty sure he's been in every Mario Kart.
Yeah.
He's one of the go-to big bodies.
Yeah, I think so.
Bowser.
Plus, he was in the Mario movie and everything.
He's been in every Smash, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Mario
You're not
movie,
invited to the party. You can race for us and you can fight for us, but you are not invited to the cookout. That's cold.
Sports. You can play in our basketball.
You do not get to roll the dice.
Damn, Nintendo mad racist. It's crazy.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I get this is cool because it's their first attempt in a while at like doing just a Donkey Kong game and doing it like at the same, I would say the same tier as like a Mario. Even though kind of word on the street seems to be it's like it's the studio behind Mario Odyssey, but maybe it's like they're young boys, so to speak, to use a wrestling term. I don't know.
Damn,
how
I don't know
much...
what he's trying to say with this.
The rookies,
the new blood.
Yeah, I don't know how much weight there is to that. I just feel like or so grain of salt. But like it seems like the movie doing well, kind of a big part of Donkey Kong was in that, and he seemed to go over well with people.
Oh,
exactly. Rumor is there's a Donkey Kong coming. But this kind of seems like this is like, you know, here's your chance to be cool again, Donkey Kong. We're gonna do this instead of another Mario game right off the bat. And so I was excited because I like Donkey Kong for nostalgic reasons, and just seeing them actually try without some outside force doing it or whatever.
Or that's some weird gimmick, you know, bongo controller or anything.
Or the puzzle game where he's like rock climbing or weird shit like that. But I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it seemed really cool because it's basically just like, well, Donkey better than everyone else? And the answer is kind of, well, he can punch things. So what if we made like a platformer, but all of the buttons are punch? And that sounds awesome. Love a good game where you can just beat the crap out of everything. People have kind of compared it to like Hulk Ultimate Destruction in some ways. I think it's a really good argument for like a Smash Bros. Muso kind of situation.
Oh, that'd slap so hard.
Yeah, especially you put Donkey Kong front and center. And like, otherwise I didn't really know what to expect, but I did kind of, this kind of looks like Mario Odyssey. Like, the font seems really similar of like the UI stuff. Collecting bananas, like zooms in.
Pauline's in it.
It's like, you got this banana. Pauline's in it. Who, yeah, Mario Odyssey was bringing Pauline back. And yeah, like after playing it for a while, it is very much like, what if we did Mario Odyssey again? It was more like almost like sequence breaky, for lack of a better way to put it, where it's like Mario Odyssey kind of had, it was open world-ish, but it still kind of had the structure to it. It had this sort of like, you need to do these specific things to get these moons and a certain number of them before you can move on to the next level, yada yada. And this is like, what if that, but you could kind of just brute force your way through it if you wanted to. There's like slight little story objectives instead of like needing to get a minimum number of things. You can get the bananas if you want, but it's kind of inconsequential. You can just kind of like punch your way through, smash everything, make your way to the next part of the game. And then kind of the incentive structure they came up with is every 5 bananas you get a skill point. So now there's a skill tree. And conceptually that makes me want to kind of like roll my eyes until they pop out of the back of my head, but
yeah, my instinct was kind of to cringe there.
Yeah. But like, and it's like really basic stuff too. It's like, oh, it's, you know, you can punch through things easier, or it gets more. He has this thing where you can like clap, and it's like a radar thing, so you can kind of see where things are hidden if you're close enough a little bit. So you can make that stronger. He has these really fun transformations. It turns into either just like a really big, elaborate looking monkey, or then there's like different animals. And those are kind of fun, and you can kind of upgrade their abilities. But like a lot of it is definitely just like, what if we kind of turn the sandbox into a playground, manner of speaking. It's like, it's more loosey-goosey than like a Mario game, and that's kind of cool. You can literally, like, there are exceptions, there are obvious limits, but you can see like a banana and your option can be well, I can look for like the intended path of this designed puzzle, what it may be, or I can just try to punch my way through the ground until I, force my way to it from the opposite direction. That's kind of cool. And it's very destructible. You can destroy, there's like buildings, the nice denizens of the area you're in, and you punch the shit out of their houses. There's nothing left. You can even punch them, and they'll be okay. But it's really like you can bend the rules as much as possible, like very, very toy-like fashion. So it's kind of fascinating.
That almost seems to be their MO these days when you combine that with Zelda, how it's going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a good way for Nintendo to kind of highlight the difference between them and other developers and publishers. Is like they started out as a toy company and they never really lost that kind of like playful or even
attitude.
sometimes literally play with the box type of mentality. I respect it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's literally the premise of Smash Bros.
Yep.
What if action figures smack?
True. And like the other big thing is like there's a big emphasis because Pauline's whole thing is like she can sing really well. Story related thing where it's like, she sings so good it's like she has superpower. So like each animal transformation has like a vocal attributed to it. So it's almost like you're playing through New Donk City or kind of the sequence of Odyssey, but it's just like part of the normal gameplay in a way, and that's kind of fun. And like each animal has its own kind of style, and she's not singing in English; it's like made up language that everyone kind of speaks that way. It's fun, and people seem to be really enjoying it. It's getting like 9, 10s and stuff. I'm still working my way through it, and I can't decide if I'm kind of like lowercase disappointed or not a little bit. And part of that is like I'm old and I really love Donkey Kong, and this is not Donkey Kong Country.
Understandable.
Yeah, and
I do like Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, I try not to be a victim of nostalgia, but I think this is one of the exceptions. But it's weird because like Donkey Kong Country, I think, stands out less as it being like a platformer with good, notable platforming mechanics, and more like just something that has really intense vibes, and like the levels have really intense like sense of place to them. It's called Donkey Kong Country. I think you really get a sense of the world those games are set in just through the design of the levels, atmosphere, and the music and everything. And this is like feels like we put Donkey Kong, or maybe Donkey Kong perhaps imposed himself into a Mario Odyssey sequel, and is just kind of like wrecking his way through it, which is really fun, neat concept. But kind of to your point about like, well, they're kind of doing it with Zelda too. Well, something in the back of my head has been like, is this like a weird pseudo house style thing Nintendo's doing now? Their big games are just going to be like variants of here's the open world with our character and the big toy box, and I have mixed feelings about that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I don't think every game should be like that.
Yeah.
There is a place for curated experiences, more, linear progression, dungeons, etc.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if they made another Donkey Kong Country, would people be down on it? They probably would be. They were kind of down on Tropical Freeze, even though, like, I think it gets its due. Yeah, I think like it is properly credited for being a really good game, but at the same time, it doesn't have the like excitement or enthusiasm behind it as like a Mario game. And part of that is like the Wii U's fault for being the Wii, I think. But, like,
yeah.
They throw it on the Switch, and people are like, it's an old game, but
I think for my part, I just don't think that there was something about the visual style, and I know that this is like a very me thing to talk about, but like, you know, I talk about like Metroid style games that don't embody like pixelated graphics or like sprites, you know, like there's a reason why 2.5D stuff like Bloodstain just does not hit the same, you know, and there's a very specific aesthetic to Donkey Kong Country that the newer games do not have. And I feel like I could also talk about like, you know, the way that levels are designed, the perspective, you know, close up versus being far away, and the leaning into different types of platforming challenges and things. And then like the music, you know, like Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 have like some of the best video game music ever made, period.
Ever. Yeah.
So like that's always going to be an uphill battle to try to like recapture any of that. But you know, that was it for me. Like I wanted to like Tropical Freeze. So it just didn't hit, you know, the same.
Yeah. It kind of has those original 3 games. Original kind of silly thing to say for Donkey Kong, but
for Country, yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, they had a very different style, and part of it was that like experimentation with 3D and stuff. They were also like darker, and I mean that like in terms of the color use and everything.
Yeah. They weren't vibrant. They were kind of like, they were not drab, but you know, desaturated a bit.
Yeah. And then like the newer ones kind of feel more like the Nintendo house style, where it's like everything's bright and colorful, and there's like the cool stuff where you're like going around with the animals. You have like the shadow puppetry kind of stuff, but the normal moment-to-moment stuff, you know, it looks like these are what the characters look like when you put them on T-shirts or whatever. And part of this game, I think, pushes against that a little bit. Like Donkey Kong's new design is really fun. He's very expressive, and he makes lots of funny faces.
That is one thing that I even having not played any of it and watched very little of it, that is something that became immediately apparent to me, and I do like that. I think that's good.
The weird part about that is the other characters eventually do show up, like Cranky and Diddy and Dixie, and they have not changed.
Oh no!
They're the same character.
Donkey Kong has ascended. He has gone Super Saiyan, and everybody else is still just doing basic karate.
They look like they were yanked right out of Tropical Freeze. It's very and just like the spaces you're in and like the levels and stuff, they're neat and they're interesting and they're designed creatively, but they have no like, they don't have like a strong identity to them, I guess you could say. Like they remind me, you know, like Mario levels, and that's not to discount Mario levels because there are memorable ones and stuff, but they also kind of, they don't draw attention to themselves as, you know, geography, I guess you could say, in the same way the Donkey Kong do. You know, I can talk about like the mines in Donkey Kong Country, or like the underwater, the
Minecart Carnage,
and,
the goat.
And Mario, it's like you're outside and the sun is there and there's hills. I couldn't, you know, and like the levels aren't even named half the time in Mario games, right? It's 1-1, 2, or yeah. And it just feels more like that, I guess. I don't know. It's just like it's very, very deeply lacking in an overall identity. Kind of Donkey Kong punching through spaces. And it's really fun. I've been blasting my way through it, but I just keep feeling like there's something missing, especially from Donkey Kong.
Well, I think that's worth bringing up, even when you do, when you do like and enjoy the game for that reason. Like, it is worth going into that kind of deeper criticism of, we like this, but here's how we feel, here's what we think about it. We know, series history has this kind of thing or whatever. And just, it's worth calling attention to this because so many people are just like, I don't know, it feels like there's not a lot in terms of like deep criticism and like media literacy and everything where people actually go through that. It's all just vibes based. So yeah, it's definitely worth digging into.
Yeah, and there's different degrees to it. I mean, I know with Nintendo people, and then of course, like you want to also look at the game at face value itself, and it's like it doesn't say Donkey Kong Country on the something different. So there's that to it, but it's like, for me, who has been there and really cares about those other games, it's like it's hard to fully
separate the two.
Yeah. Particularly when, like, man, a new Donkey Kong Country game would go so hard.
They also do invoke Donkey Kong Country occasions, which part of it, like there's little musical cues and references in there.
Oh, interesting.
There's like there is a little, you do almost like shrines in Zelda, where there will be occasions you find a thing and you punch in, you go in, and it's literally like a side-scrolling section with brambles everywhere. Symphony.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is dope, and then you leave, and it's like, fuck, I'm back in Odyssey again.
Aww.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me of a better game. Yeah, what was it? Was it like Briar Patch Bramble or something like that in 2? I forget what it was. That was like an incredible level.
Yeah,
it was. I forget the level name because I just remember the music. So
yeah,
I think there's 2. I think one of them is Bramble Blast.
Oh yeah, that's the one with the cannon with like the barrels.
Yeah, and there's one before that. I think there's 3 because then there's the one where you're Squawk and you're racing evil Squawk, and
I guess that's
level
true,
is just
yeah.
torture.
God, man, I even like, I know a lot of people shit on 3. I still loved 3.
It's the weakest of the 3. That doesn't make it a bad game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked playing as the spider with the tennis shoes on.
Spider's cool.
There's
a reference to him in Bonanza.
Nice.
Neat.
Yeah, you dig up fossils to pay for like clothes and stuff.
Is it a spider fossil?
Yeah, and it's got tennis.
Oh no!
No!
They killed him.
Oh,
I can't believe our boy is fucking dead.
That's brutal. Well, okay, that's it. Donkey Kong Bonanza is dead to me. If you want to play a good game about music and a giant ape beating the shit out of things, go play Ape Out. That's it. That's where my endorsement's gonna go. By the way, Ape Out actually good, really good. You should play it. It's super bloody, and but it's like it's bloody in like a God, what is it? Like a construction paper type of a way. Anyways,
I think my final thought on Donkey Kong, because man, that would be a big task.
All right.
Fair.
Well, one last thing before we dip out, and this is something that I said I was not going to announce before I just straight up started talking about it before the show. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You can now see. I don't know if you can recognize that.
I see it. I recognize it. I've just been playing through that recently.
So I am playing Digimon Cybersleuth.
Let's go.
So I picked it up in a sale. It was like $4 or something like that for the complete edition. I started it.
I bought it again on that sale as well because I had it on console.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It was like $5 a month or 2.
Yep.
It wasn't even $4.50.
Yeah, super cheap, and you get both of them, and that's a lot of game.
Yeah. So I have started playing that. I chose my starter. I've been wandering around, all that, trying to figure out what's going on. There are certain things that I really like about this. Also, I took a picture, which I'm going to put up with this episode, where I was playing this game, I was like not that many minutes in, and I was like, holy crap, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing, Bandai. Introducing me to a character who's basically not wearing clothes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you know, leaning out honey, you leaning out the car? Abby, you trying to pick me up? Oh my God. There are a few characters in Pokemon where it's just like, wait, what are you doing, Nintendo? You know, like the most recent, like one of the professors, actually both of the professors from Scarlet and Violet
Gen 9, yeah.
are just like, what are you trying to, you know, like Van Halen, make me have it bad, so bad and be hot for teacher. If Will is even
so bad.
If Will is still listening to this, I think he'll appreciate a hot for teacher reference. But anyways, but I'm enjoying Cybersleuth. It's wild. So there's no like functionality to like, there's no free camera in this game, right?
No.
Yeah. So I was like, what is happening? There's also like, they're having me revisit areas and wander through places where it like feels really empty, which is very much a like, not necessarily like a Bandai thing, although it is true of some Bandai games, but it's also like, you know, some Spike Chunsoft games have this where it's just like, this space is just too big. There's just too much walking in this.
Yeah, and you'll be doing a lot of that. So heads up for
Yeah.
that, unfortunately.
As much as I love that game, there are definitely caveats. I always say like it's
a budget Vita game.
A budget Vita game, and there are signs, and one of them is like lots of reused assets and revisiting locations, and you know, it's very nuts and bolts.
It also seems to be kind of trading on a similar thing to like Persona, where like I've gotten established with this like detective's office, and now they're like, all right, go wander around and like get to meet people. And I'm like, okay, I can definitely see this being like a, you know, oh, you're wandering around like Shinjuku, you know, or, you know, wherever, like Gekkoukan, the surrounding areas around Gekkoukan or whatever, in the various like Persona games, or even not exactly the same, but like almost like The World Ends With You type of a way, where it's just like they're trying to get you to like buy into this space right now.
Yeah, it's much smaller scale than that, but definitely does bank a little bit on that.
Yeah. But yeah, I like it so far. I'm finding it novel to be like, it's very much like, hey, what if we took Pokemon and also Sword Art Online and just mashed these stories together? And you know, I'm just like, oh, okay, so that's what we're doing. All right, cool. I'm on board.
Yeah, I think the best way I took away from it is it's budget, it's got flaws, but it feels like it's punching so far above its budget's weight in terms of it wants desperately to do something cool. It's trying to ask more questions and tell more stories, and you know, compared to something like Pokemon, which has just been playing it safe for a very long time. Yeah. It's just like, I just immediately felt like, oh man, I wish Pokemon attempted something like this, please.
Yeah. And that is why I'm like, I'm in, you know, because like I can see that, like I can feel what they're trying to do. And I'm like, Pokemon and that Game Freak has been coasting on legacy for decades now. And I am so ready for literally just even a crumb of anything new or interesting. So like this, it is a low ass bar to clear, particularly when people are out here, you know, speaking of the zeitgeist, writing articles about like, hey, maybe shitty frame rates are good actually. Like
I get the point they're making with that, but
shout out. So it's an interesting article.
Yeah,
it's an interesting article. It got quite the discussion in the Skybox chat, but
yeah, no, it's just like, it's like we should demand.
It reads like
better.
opium.
Yeah, we should demand better, and I appreciate people trying to deliver better.
I have to quote one of my favorite quotes from YouTuber Skill Up on this. where he says, I criticize Pokemon because I'm just reaching out to Pokemon fans like, you guys, you deserve better. And the Pokemon fans are like, shut the fuck up. No, we don't.
Yes. That's such a good quote. And it's so true. Like, God, just the degree to which Nintendo fans are like especially conditioned to like slaver at any opportunity of getting crumbs from Papa Nintendo's table is just insane. Like,
yeah,
truly insane.
Have some self-respect, demand better, have accountability.
Yeah.
They do good work, but they could do better.
Yeah.
And we should hold them to that.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
So have you messed around or time to mess around with like them yet, or are you still kind of...
Sorry, you cut out right on the load-bearing part of that.
No.
Did you play around with the... Yeah?
I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
The evolution system, have you been able to kind of dig into that much?
I have not gotten to the point. I think I'm getting fairly close to like being able to digivolve one of like my starter.
Very early on then.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very early. Yeah. I just did the like... I basically just became the like detective's assistant and like did my first like recon mission to like figure out what's going on in this world.
Okay.
I got like the avatar pieces back for my body, and then like basically I just took on my first mission from the whiteboard, and I'm kind of like exploring the space, and that's where I've been playing this while I was editing the podcast today, which I'm not done with yet, so like I still have more to do, but yeah, that's where I'm at so far. I think the first time I checked, I had everything I needed as far as stats were concerned, but my level wasn't right yet. And I had like, there were like 2 or 3 I chose Palmon, which is like the plant one, as my starter. And so there's like the first one where like I'm not a high enough level yet, and then there was like this next 2 where it was like I have some stat goals, but like I also am not at the right level or something like that. So, but I've leveled up a few times since then and actually got like constructed new Digimon. I have 2 other ones that I've made.
Nice.
Which that whole system being very different from capture is like really weird.
It is weird.
It's like there's no skill check for it. It's just like just do enough battles and like it's fine. You have them, which like makes sense if you're a hacker.
You can also
then digital creatures. Yeah,
but you can also then opt to just get them early or save up until it's hits 200%, at which point they get a boost in stat.
Yeah, which I always have done so
which
far.
Which makes getting the good evolutions a lot easier because we won't go too much into it, but there's a lot to that evolution system. It's not like a binary thing like Pokemon. You'll be playing around it for quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm excited. And I've definitely been like, all right, I'm gonna make do with my starter for a while until I get these like first captures to 200%. And so I'm going to, as much as I can, try to wait for that. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll definitely check in. I'm still like very, very early, but I just wanted to let you know
to pick it up again.
I'm playing it.
Hell yeah.
So
that's awesome. I love that game so much.
Since I don't have what is it, Trails in the Sky, because I stopped playing that because the beautiful remake is coming out. So that's on hiatus.
I need to play that before the remake comes out.
This is another one. I'm gonna wait, but I respect it. You're a Trail sicko already.
I'm a sicko, and I want to finish second chapter. So, which probably isn't getting the remake treatment immediately anyway, because which was also a discussion point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah, let's get the hell out of here. What do you say?
Do we want to do a question before, or do we need prep for those?
Ooh, do we want to do... there is another question we can do. There is one more question we can do.
We should probably do that for our loyal subscribers and listeners.
Yes. All right. This is... Ooh, okay. I have potentially 2 questions. Do we want... Okay, this one I'll do Call's question, because Murph's question, I think I want to give you guys just a tiny bit of heads up for. It's not like a full-blown thing, but I think that it might require like a little bit of thought instead of just like putting you guys on the spot. This other one from Call, I think everybody should have something that they can say. So Call asks, what is your video game Everest? The one you've had on your backlog forever, but for some reason haven't played it. Especially if you've been waiting for the perfect circumstance to really play it. If you guys need a thought, I know what mine is.
You go ahead, but I can think of mine pretty quickly as well.
So mine is absolutely, positively Planescape Torment.
Yes, it is.
This is Baldur's Gate 2 is tied with Super Metroid as my favorite game of all time. And the overwhelming majority of people who agree with me are like, if you haven't, you have to play Planescape Torment. And
it's me. I agree with you. And I say you have to play Planescape Torment.
Yes. And I own it. I have it. I have the enhanced edition. I bought them on GOG. I have them, I think, installed on my Steam Deck. And just for whatever reason, I've just never started it. I really want to. I really need to. I don't know why I haven't started it, but I just haven't. So that is one that I'm like, I really need to get to this game. I think that's probably like the biggest one for me. But Kris, what do you got?
So a little different here, but kind of in the same ballpark is, in terms of the question, I've started playing this before and never gotten that far. And it's a very, very big game and everyone talks it up. And I know this is worth bringing up because I'm not the only one who goes, yeah, no, I'll put this off for later. I'm waiting for the perfect time to just sit and immerse myself in that. It's Witcher 3.
Oh.
The main difference is that what I have played of Witcher 3, I don't like. I don't think it's very good. I think it's a massively overrated game. And I have a lot to say about that, but I want to actually give it its due diligence, play through it fully, check it out and do all that. And that's a project I'm looking at doing probably on Skybox at some point in the future, but the last time I went to go and play Witcher 3, I got maybe 10 hours in and said, I just want to procrastinate. So I went and played Cyberpunk instead. And I fucking love Cyberpunk. And this was before Phantom Liberty, so it was still not good. It was slightly patched, but not Phantom Liberty patched. So, and then I ended up fucking loving Cyberpunk way more than I did Witcher 3. I'm like, fuck. And so now I've been sitting, it's like, I really should tackle Witcher 3. You know what I did last week? I played Cyberpunk again.
No.
Incredible.
Amazing.
So that's mine. One day I will climb the Everest that is Witcher 3, and then I will get on top of it and say, it's really not that good, and I fucking told you so, but we'll see.
One day you will beat it so he can come.
Oh my god.
How about you, Lucas?
Lucas.
It's a really good question.
You strike me as the type of guy who, like, this might not be the best question for, because I just get the impression that you just go do the thing.
I juggle things a lot, and you know, I'm obviously like RPGs are where I'm at.
Yeah.
But there's certain ones that I just haven't played. That are maybe like more obvious than you might expect, but I don't know how much of a target I'd put on those, but I guess there's three specific, there's three games that I'm thinking of now that I haven't played or have only played a little bit of and haven't finished. So one of them is Xenogears.
Yep, I can hear Will screaming at you through the internet right now.
And I have started Xenogears at least 3 times.
Same, actually.
The other one would be Speaking of Will screaming, the other one is Skies of Arcadia.
I was just talking about that in Skybox the other day. Yeah.
Another one I've started a couple times. I have a copy of it. I just haven't.
I can love that game. It's
seen
good.
it all the way through. It seems really cool. And another one, I'm not sure. I don't think about this one as much, but it is another blind spot in that space, and that is Vagrant Story, which I also haven't.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's one
probably
I
on
need to do,
one of
that's from Golden. That's from like Golden Era Square when they could do no wrong, and I think that's like one of the only games from that time that I didn't play.
Yeah,
I just didn't
specifically from Matsuno, the guy who did Tactics Ogre, and it was like, yeah. People who know that game say, yeah, this is a sicko game for sickos in the best possible way.
The combat system is like Parasite Eve, isn't it?
Vaguely Parasite Eve. But yeah, and just the story, presentation, world building, everything about that is so far beyond, like it's punching way above its weight in terms of what they were doing at the time. And yeah, like that again, that's a game I've played and not finished, so that would be also a good one, but I agree. Yeah, that's a worthwhile goal, I think, Vagrant Story. Yeah, you should get on all three of those, Lucas.
Definitely should. I've attempted to multiple times, but sometimes it's like it's not the right time, and then something else.
Sometimes they don't click.
Takes the tension over.
Yeah, I got far in Xenogears, but not super far because it's very long and very long-winded in a good way generally, but there's times where I'm just like, just get on with it.
Yeah. Good question.
Good question.
And good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me, the both of you, and everybody watching.
Pleasure as always.
And listening, and joining, and listening in on us from the future. I hope we're still alive.
Astrally projectoring.
Astrally projectoring.
You heard me.
All right. Thanks for joining us for Beyond the Skybox. If you like this show, please leave a review. Tell somebody about it. We love talking to you guys. So come join us over at Skybox. I'm on Blue Sky at Brian Barnett. Skybox is now at skyboxcritics.com on Blue Sky. We actually got that whole domain thing sorted at last.
Huzzah.
Which is great. You can also find us on Twitch, YouTube, and most importantly, Patreon at Skybox Critics. Please go over there. The $5 level, you can join our Discord where we talk about all these sorts of things. You can submit questions to this very show that we will answer on air.
We have great discussions at all hours of the day.
It's true. Absolutely.
So many that I miss because I'm asleep and I want to talk about SMT and you won't let me.
Yep. There are Skyboxers around the globe. So there's always going to be somebody to talk about deranged things with. Yeah, and you can also back to get access to different shows at higher tiers, like Into the Skybox. There's a great episode of Into the Skybox with Ashley Schofield about Street Fighter 6 going up this week. That show is so good. Like, that is worth, like, the entire, if you didn't join for any other show, like, it would be worth it for you to join the Into the Skybox tier for this episode alone. I'm telling you. And you can also join at the Skydive tier, where you can get access to our episodes of Skydive, where we deep dive into single topics. The one that we have up right now is about Marvel vs. Capcom. It was a really fun episode, very beefy, much like many of the characters that are in Marvel vs. Capcom. But yeah, join us to help make this industry better one day at a time. We can't do it without your support. I don't have anything going up. Oh, no. I do. I have a Marvel Rivals review going up very soon, on Skybox. We will see. It should be going up extremely soon. So check that out. Lucas, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at Hokuto Lucas. And as far as recently published works, I had the pleasure, I say cautiously, of starting we're doing a themed content week this week.
Which I love, by the way. This is such a cool thing.
It's a cool
we're
project.
calling it AI Could Never. So basically, we're saying AI sucks, and we're sort of using that as a prompt, to talk about games that like are exemplary in how weird or specific they are. Because like obviously AI could not do most video games if any of them. So we're trying to take in a little bit of a, I don't know, like a hyperbolic bent to it. It's like, what are games that absolutely 100% couldn't even be mistaken for being AI?
The human element is way too important.
Yeah.
So I started with a game series called Mary Skelter. That is,
I have to say, when I saw that when I saw that pop up in the feed for published pieces, I just went, "Oh no, Lucas!" That was my exact reaction. Just, "Oh no, Lucas!" So
I took contributor Thomas Wilde is the one who sort of pitched this idea, and I took his premise to heart,
and to some other places.
So
yeah, that's cool.
Please check that out. And I apologize in advance if you haven't heard of this game before and now you're about to know what it is, or not. It's actually, I think, really good. It's just comes with a long list of considerations you may want to check on before starting it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Kris, where can people find you?
Most of the time you can find my articles on Skybox as well, but I do maintain a website called versusthebacklog.com. That's vsthebacklog.com, one word. I usually go by Delphia across the internet, or Kris Cornelius, obviously. You can find me on Blue Sky. I don't use it much, but I have it, and on a bunch of games, usually Rivals, possibly Killing Floor 3 in the coming days, as I dabble more in that. As for recent works, I have also contributed a piece that will be going up soon as part of the AI Could Never thing. And there is another review or two going up as soon as I get around to doing the edits. I'm so sorry, Lucas.
It's quite all right.
All right. For everybody here at
Skybox, take a while to get to the edits sometimes. It is quite okay if you take a while to respond to them.
It's true. It's true. We are all doing the most. And there's a lot also going on. So for everybody here at Skybox, we hope you all have a wonderful week and stay safe out there. Until next time, we are out.
Peace.
Goodbye.